Hey, Treasure Fan Show pal, Big D back here again with another weekly news announcement. And this is for September 10th, 2019. Those of you new to my channel, I like to do every Monday, I like to post up on here what's coming out on Blu-ray and DVD this week, what's coming out on Blu-ray and DVD next week, and any of the major announcements that are coming up. And then toward the end, I'll show you what I picked up last week, at least new release-wise. So let's get started. It's kind of a big list this week. So this is a big week. It's a lot of re-release titles because a lot of stuff coming out on 4K, but there is a lot coming out this week. Obviously, the big one this week is John Wick Chapter 3. That's coming out in all kinds of different forms. I know that Best Buy has a 4K Steelbook. Target has a Blu-ray Steelbook. Walmart's got a 4K edition with a coin that's attached to it. There are a lot of different versions of that movie that's going to be out there tomorrow. Obviously, Blu-ray, DVD, 4K, Steelbooks, the whole 9 yards are going to be out there. And you'll be able to find that movie anywhere. It's going to be big. It's a big movie. Okay, next tomorrow we have Casino coming out tomorrow in 4K. The first time that the Robert De Niro classic is coming out in 4K. There is going to be a Best Buy exclusive Steelbook of that one tomorrow as well. And then also tomorrow we have the animated and live action Aladdin coming out. So we have the original Robin Williams classic and we have the new Will Smith movie coming out tomorrow. Both are coming out Blu-ray, DVD, and 4K. They're both coming out with 2 exclusive Steelbooks, and they're both coming out with Digibooks from Target. So there's a lot right there tomorrow, especially if you're... I'm a big fan of the first one. I know I'm going to get the Steelbook of the movie. I have yet to see the live-action one. I'm kind of going to hold off on that for a while until I see it first. I don't want to just jump into that because I'm kind of afraid I'm not going to like it too much. So those come out tomorrow, and again, you should be able to find those anywhere. It's a Disney movie. You'll find it anywhere. Also tomorrow we have the Jetsons Complete Series coming out on Blu-ray for the first time. We have the 4K version. It's a 3-pack, and I remember the title this time. It is Shaun of the Dead, Hot Fuzz, and The World's End. Those are all coming out in 4K and a 4K set tomorrow. And that's going to be fun. I know for sure it's at Best Buy because I saw it in their ad. And then also tomorrow we have a movie called The Dead Don't Die, which I just saw last week. I absolutely loved it. But it's a trip. It's like if you've ever seen the movie Logan Lucky, it's like they took a couple characters from Logan Lucky and they put them in a zombie apocalypse. So I really enjoyed it, but it's very dry, dark humor in a lot of ways. So it's one, you're really gonna have to be patient with it because it does start off a little bit slow and then kind of slowly builds and builds and builds. But I actually really enjoyed it. It's got an all-star cast from Bill Murray to Adam Driver all the way down. It seems like every time I talk, Iggy Pop was a zombie. So. Carol Kane was too, so it was really neat to see all these actors and actresses in the movie, and then a lot of them being zombies and stuff. I really enjoyed it. Also tomorrow we have Daybreakers with Ethan Hawke and Lockup with Sylvester Stallone coming out in 4K. Those again should be able to find anywhere. They're kind of standard 4Ks, just like The Dead Don't Die. You should be able to find at Target, Walmart, wherever. Then also tomorrow we have Supernatural Season 14, which was an awesome season. I absolutely loved it, and there was a major cliffhanger. So that comes out tomorrow on Blu-ray and DVD. Then we have the Crocodile Trilogy, which I never heard of these things before, but they look really interesting. But there's 3 of them coming out tomorrow by, I think, Severin Films. And then also tomorrow we have Howard the Duck Steelbook coming out. It's an FYE exclusive. We have The Alienist Season 1 coming out tomorrow. Santa Claus, the movie, 1 through 3, Blu-ray Steelbook comes out tomorrow, and that's going to be a Best Buy exclusive. And then here comes the Disney titles. So Disney's releasing a bunch of titles tomorrow. On 4K, they're re-releasing the Blu-rays with different covers with that Disney logo all over it, and they're also releasing Steelbooks of all these versions tomorrow, at least at Best Buy. I'm not sure whether there's going to be. I don't think it's going to be Digibooks. I didn't see anything about Digibooks for these movies, but these are all definitely coming out tomorrow in 4K Steelbooks, and that is Ratatouille, Finding Nemo, Finding Dory, Inside Out, Brave, Cars 1 and 2 because Cars 3 is already on 4K, The Good Dinosaur. And that's it. They are releasing a couple other ones like Up, and a couple other random titles, and Wall-E. But they're just new covers, but same movie. There's no 4K coming out from them. It's going to be coming out on Blu-ray. So those are all coming tomorrow, and that's it for tomorrow. It's a very large day. I'm actually looking forward to it. I'm going to try to film inside of Best Buy tomorrow because I imagine one of their sides of the rack is going to be all Steelbooks because with the amount of Steelbooks coming out tomorrow. So be on the lookout for that. So that's it for this week. Let's talk about next week. Next week's a pretty big week too, although one of the movies coming out is pretty funny because it was probably the biggest bomb of the year so far that year. And that movie is X-Men Dark Phoenix. That's come out next week, and that's got a Blu-ray, DVD, a 4K, and a Steelbook. And I think Target's got something exclusive too. although I'm not really sure why. I saw the movie. I thought it was okay. I think that there was a pacing issue. It could have been shortened down a lot, and I think they should have explained a few more things here and there, but cut some other stuff out, and they didn't. So it was okay. Will I get it? Yes, because I'm a completist, and it's got to have that for my X-Men collection. But that does come out next week, along with the Batman 4-film collection set Steelbook in a box set. So the Batman movies were just released a couple months ago, which is Batman, Batman Returns, Batman Forever, and Batman and Robin, are all being released in 4K Steelbooks individually and is a really nice box set. And that's coming out next week. I really want that Batman set. And then, let's see here. Also, Arrow Video is releasing The Hills Have Eyes Part 2 in a special edition, just like their special edition for Part 1, or the first movie. And then we also have Arrow's releasing the movie The Prey. Then also tomorrow next week we have Biloxi Blues coming out, which is a good movie. It's a really good movie. Also, Supergirl Season 4 comes out next week on Blu-ray and DVD. 2 more Andy Sedaris films come out next week. That's right, Do or Die and Guns. You know me. I love my Sedaris. Matter of fact, if you look over... Where is it? Right over there, right though. Those are my Sedaris movies right there, where my little finger is. So 2 more to add to my collection. I'm so excited. I'm actually hoping to get to the point where they put them all out on Blu-ray so I can get rid of... I have a DVD box set with all of them. It's called Guns, Babes, and something or other. I can't remember what the exact title. But they're on flipper discs, which in other words, there's one movie on each side. And because it's so condensed, that the picture quality is not that great. So I'm hoping, because as they're releasing these on Blu-ray, the picture quality is great. So I'm hoping that they put the rest of these things out so I can get rid of that set and just have them all on Blu-ray. So those 2 come out next week. Oh yeah, by the way, I've already got those pre-ordered. Also, Galaxy Quest is coming out in the Steelbook next week. Big fan of that movie. Love that movie. As you all know, I'm a big Star Trek fan, so of course I'm gonna like that one too. Also, Lethal Weapon Season 3 comes out next week. A movie called Above the Shadows, which the cover looked interesting, but I don't know what that movie is. Let's see here. Dead Winter, another one. The cover looks really cool. I don't know what it is. If you know, leave me some comments down below. Let me know. And the last thing coming out next week it's a movie called To Hell and Back, the Kane Hodder story. And if you don't know, Kane Hodder played Jason Voorhees in several of the Friday the 13th movies. And this is a documentary about his life and the stuff that he had to go through. He's been in a bunch of other movies too. I believe he played the Hatchet guy, didn't he, in the Hatchet movies? So I'm really curious because he's done some really cool stuff. And I kind of like to watch documentaries. I like to watch documentaries about that stuff because they always give you some really cool inside stuff you didn't know, So that ought to be really interesting. Now, I'm not sure you're going to be able to find that. Maybe Amazon, but it should be out there. So that is it for this week and next week. Now let's talk about what was announced. There was a couple big titles announced this week. There was one confirmed title I told you about a couple weeks ago that they did confirm. And then a few other little sprinklings of a few other titles. So let's get started with those. First off, they've announced Pan's Labyrinth in 4K, which will be out on October 1st. Also, Disney announced Frozen 4K. Ooh, big shock there. Coming out October 1st. I mean, obviously, Frozen 2 comes out in November, I think it is, isn't it? So, of course, they're going to release that. If they're releasing all this other stuff right now on Blu-ray 4K, yeah, you knew that was coming. One title I'm really excited about, they announced coming out October 15th. That's Crawl. That was the movie about the gators in Florida. They starred Barry Pepper. Loved that movie. Absolutely loved that movie. I even did a review on it because I loved it that much. It's a really great movie. If you haven't seen it, it's a great opportunity to finally see it. It is awesome. Also announced was, and I'm confirming this is official now, Spider-Man Far From Home is coming out October 1st. I told you about that a couple weeks ago. It looked like it was going to be there, but they officially announced it for October 1st. Then we have 2 Shout Factory movies that have been announced. The first one's called Itsy Bitsy, which looks kind of cool, and that's coming out October 1st. And the other one's called Candy, and that will be out December 3rd. That's a little ways away. And then a movie called Bloodline is coming out October 22nd. I have no idea. The cover looks really cool, though, so I figured I'd mention it. And then the last 2 movies, the first one is Stuber, which had, the guy from Bushwick. Oh, my gosh. I used to be a big wrestling fan, too. You'd think I remember this. Oh, man. Leave me some comments down below. Come on. Just like last time, I get these brain farts, so to speak, where I've got it all in my head, then all of a sudden, boom. I'll remember it at some point, trust me. I did Hot Fuzz. Like, I finished recording this video, and I'm all, Hot Fuzz. Sometimes when I do these things, I get a little bit nervous, I guess, and it just I end up forgetting certain things. So, but Stuber is coming out, and it actually looked pretty funny. And then the last title, which I find this is kind of weird because it comes out to theaters in a couple weeks, and they've already announced it for October 15th. That is 3 from Hell, which is the 3rd movie in the Rob Zombie trilogy of the first one being excuse me, House of a Thousand Corpses. The second movie being, and I'm looking over here really quick because, yeah, I put it away, The Devil's Rejects. And this one now being Three from Hell, so it's the third movie in the series. So I'm curious, it hadn't even come out yet. I know it's been done for a long time. Matter of fact, he was touting this movie like a year ago. So it's just kind of funny how they're going to release it. I'm sure it's going to be a limited release, and it's going to come out fully on Blu-ray and DVD October 15th. Just kind of interesting that, it's kind of falling out that way. I've always really liked House of a Thousand Corpses and The Devil's Rejects. My wife does not like them at all. She feels they're way too graphic, and they are pretty graphic. I think the second movie wasn't nearly as graphic, as the first one. But the funny thing is, the first one has Rainn Wilson in it, which it always baffles me. Plus, if you're a bigger nerd, the name Chris Hardwick, what you would know too, and he's in that movie as well. So, along with there was Walter Goggins from Sons of Anarchy fame and from Justified is in the movie. So it's got a pretty decent. He got some big people in, big people to be in the movie. So, but the first one is really graphic. Matter of fact, interesting side note about that movie. My wife and I went and saw it in theaters. Halfway through, my wife said, "I can't take this movie. We need to go home." It's the only movie I've ever walked out of in all my years of watching movies in theaters. The only movie I've ever walked out on. So, because it was just too violent for her. It's really violent. It's got a lot of really gory scenes in there. I was telling you the other night, I said, it's funny, because we were talking about a few movies we watched recently that had a lot of gore, and she had to turn away. We just saw It, the chapter 2, and there's a few scenes in there where it gets pretty graphic, and she said, I turned away, I told her, it's funny, that stuff doesn't bother me, because I know it's fake. I've watched enough Hollywood documentaries. I've actually seen them do prosthetics, stuff like that doesn't bother me. But you see somebody on the side of the street with their guts hanging out, I'd be like, nope, not going to do it. Can't be around them. Nope. It's really kind of funny how that is. I guess when it's really real to me, it's like, oh, I can't handle it. But if it's fake, no big deal. So I know it's completely off subject, and I do apologize for that. But I was just thinking about this. Kind of a funny conversation we were having. So that is it for this week, next week, and announced. Let me show you what I did pick up this week. Now, new release. I picked up a bunch of movies this week, and I will show you in a pickups video towards the end of the week what I did pick up. But these were the 3 movies I picked up that were new release-wise. So I did first out pick up, because I have the first 3, and I had to get the 4th one, and that is Rambo in 4K. Had to get it. I got the other 3 in 4K. Got a good deal on this. Gotta have it. In fact, I need to watch all these movies because it's the weekend after next that the last Rambo movie comes out. So, and I've been a big fan of Rambo since day one, since it came out. So I'm excited. I'm excited I got this in 4K finally. Then I did pick up the movie Ma, which I did watch the other day, and I have to say I really liked it. It's more of a character study than anything else. Kind of this as a girl, she had this traumatic event happen to her when she was in school, and it kind of just stuck with her the rest of her life, and it kind of made her make bad decisions, and a lot of other things happened to her throughout the course of life. Her husband left her, stuff like that. So it's kind of a revenge flick. At the same time, it's kind of like a person that's just kind of spiraling out of control. She wants all these things. She wants to be popular. She wants that. She starts to get it, then she does it, and it's just what happens to her. And of course, Octavia Spencer is just an absolute amazing actress. I love everything she does. So I actually really liked it, and I do recommend you checking it out. And the last thing I did pick up was, and I told you I was going to get this, even though the Steelbook looks like, and that is I did pick up Men in Black International. There's the back. I mean, I'm not the biggest fan of the character. I like the character in the movie. I didn't watch the movie. I actually watched the movie last night, and I did enjoy it. Not nearly as good as the original Men in Black. No way, no how. And I think there's a lot of political correctness that was in this movie that I think kind of was overshadowing just an overall story. I think they kept putting these little things throughout the movie that I was like, well, we don't really need that. I think they just stuck along with the story and just did a really good story. But like I said, I did enjoy it. If I was going to do a rating, I'd give it a 6 out of 10, 6 red vines out of 10 red vines. It was fun, but I almost felt like, Chris Hemsworth, I forget her name, but they played Valkyrie and Thor in the Thor movies. They had really good chemistry, but in this movie, I kind of felt like their chemistry wasn't quite there. Like, I felt like a lot of this was forced. Like, they were just like, okay, we know that people like us together, so we're just going to do this movie. So it really felt forced, and some of the plot just kind of seemed to kind of just hang out there and not really do anything. So there's a lot of downtime in the movie, a lot of things that kind of didn't make sense. So like I said, it was fun, but even the villain, I mean, I my wife called it out within the first 20 minutes of the movie who the villain was. I mean, she's like, no, it's this guy. And I kept trying to hold on. I kept trying to hold on thinking, well, maybe. But then even halfway through, I'm like, no, there's no way at this point. I know exactly what the villain is. So, I don't know. It was a decent movie. I'm glad I own it because I got the whole set all in Steelbook form too. But I think for the money they put behind this, the time they had to do this, and the high caliber of actors, I mean, they got some great actors for this movie, that it should have been more than what it was. So I understand why it didn't do very well in theaters. I think sometimes when you're trying to recapture something that had been done 20 years ago that worked really well, a lot of times it just doesn't transpire over to now. It just doesn't. I mean, I can go back and watch the original Men in Black now, and I think it's still a really fun movie, but even then you can look at it, it's a little dated, you know, and then they're kind of trying to take that same chemistry and put it into a movie 20 years later. It kind of just falls short. It kind of feels like even the way that Agent M becomes an agent is very similar to, very similar to the way that Will Smith became an agent, and the attitude that Will Smith had was the same kind of attitude that she had. So it was almost kind of like watching the same movie over again, only it was like 20 or so years later. So that's my problem with it. I kind of went in depth a little bit more than I thought I was going to go into it. Like I said, it was still fun to watch, and I would definitely check it out. I just wouldn't go probably running out and drop $30 on it or something like that. Black Friday deals, go for it. Especially if you're a completionist like me, that'd be a great time to it. It was just that they could have done a lot more with it, and they didn't. I feel like sometimes I feel like Hollywood does this nowadays, where they're just forcing stuff out. They don't even care if it's good or not because they know it'll at least make a little bit of money at theaters. So they just shove it out. So the quality seems like in the last 10, 15 years seems to keep going down. And to be honest with you, I do miss some stupid comedies too. I miss back in the days when like movies like Can't Hardly Wait and Idle Hands, those stupid comedies. They don't even do those anymore. It's Hollywood shifted a lot, and I know it's the changing of times, and I know it's different people going to the theaters now than 20 years ago. The people who are going to 20 years ago have grown up a lot more, and they've changed. They're probably not going to the theaters as much as they were when they're in the 20s. And now you got more people now they're getting into the 20s and they want to be challenged a little bit different. I totally understand that. I don't know. I really wish Hollywood a lot of times would take a little bit more time with their movies and not just push out a bunch of junk because, well, it worked 20 years ago, it should work again. Because it doesn't. I mean, look at the Ghostbusters movie. Look at, a lot of these movies, they try to reinvigorate the franchise. And I'm not even saying anything because Ghostbusters is all female. There's parts of the movie I really like. Honest to God, I like Chris Hemsworth in the movie. I thought that... a couple of the characters were really good in the movie. My only issue, I was Melissa McCarthy really in that movie. But I did enjoy it. But again, it lost some of the luster from the original Ghostbusters. But that movie can't, if they made that same Ghostbusters movie today, it wouldn't do as well as it did back in the 80s. The same thing with Men in Black. If they put out Men in Black, the same version of Men in Black today as they did when it originally came out, that same movie now, it wouldn't do that well. It just doesn't, as times march on, things change. So trying to reignite a franchise by using the same formula that worked 20 years ago doesn't always work. It doesn't, unfortunately. You got to come up with something new. People now want new. They don't want the rehash the same. So that's it of my soapbox. I do apologize for that. Most of you guys probably fast forwarded through that. I don't blame you. I just feel like that something like that needed to be said because it's frustrating. I went to the movies this weekend. I absolutely enjoyed It Chapter 2. But I'm looking at some of the movies in the theaters. I'm like, okay, why? So it is what it is. But you know what? Thank you guys all for watching. Leave me some comments down below. Let me know what your thoughts are on some of the stuff coming out this week, next week, or what was announced. Or if you know a couple of those titles I read off, I have no idea what they are. If you know what those are, please let me know. Also, click the subscribe button if you want to see more videos by Big D. Click that little button up at the top, little bell at the top, and I'll tell you when I put up new videos. Again, thank you guys all for not only watching, but listening. I know sometimes I get on my soapbox and roll your eyes. I do it too when I go back and watch the thing again. But again, thank you guys all for watching. You guys are awesome. I've got more subscribers. I'm really close to 200. So please keep sharing this video. I really appreciate it. Leave me some more comments. I'm trying to answer them all. I got some comments the last video I posted up. And I'll be answering those as soon as possible. But again, thank you guys all for watching. Everybody take care out there. Be careful. Always keep hunting because you never know what you're going to find. And as always, live long and prosper. Bye.